All right, so this is what we're going to do today. Today, I want to talk to you. First of all, for those of you that have never attended our training, my name is David Adam Kurz. I'm the president of New World Title Texas. And once a month, on the second Tuesday of each month, I come on here and I do this training. If you have not registered for this training and you got a surprise message today because maybe you joined us at New U Recon, please join us. Just go to nwtetraining.com, newworldtitletraining.com, nwttraining.com, and you could register on there. And then we'll send you reminders because I know it only happens once a month via Zoom. So we constantly send a ton of reminders to make sure that you guys know that we're up and live and running. Very excited to see everybody today. Today, I want to talk about converting leads into clients, right? And so I have this presentation here. It's the ultimate guide for real estate agents, right? And so what are we talking about here? You know, I coach a lot of agents, guys. Like before I was the president of New World, I've been, I have a real estate team that's still active that my wife runs and operates. It's here in South Florida. We're in Miami. And that team operates at a very high level. It's been live for almost 20 years, guys. So I've been selling real estate down here in South Florida for 20 years. And I've been coaching real estate agents for going on 11 years now. So one of the things that we notice is there are several different stages that happen in the sale process, right? And one of those stages particularly is conversion. It's how do I convert this mysterious lead that came through into an actual client? And so we're going to do a couple of things. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to go through this presentation and we're going to talk about the different stages of conversion. Because even though there are multiple stages, right? Like lead, communication, conversion, then it becomes a client, then they go contract, then they go close, then they go relationship, referral, repeat, right? And in all those stages, each of those stages have their own magic that has to happen. And one of the magic pieces is that we need to ensure, hey, Mike, yeah. So one of the things that we need to ensure is that we know how to get them from one level to the next level. And so the converting leads, it's actually one of the biggest processes next to referrals. Referrals and conversions are probably the two biggest, longest, most active processes when you talk about the entire sale process, right? Why is that? Well, because conversion requires a ton of follow-up. It requires a ton of conversations. It requires you to get somebody to not only know, like, and trust you, which is not always easy in this industry, but it's also how do I get them to trust me to help them transfer the largest asset they may ever own. And I like to explain it like that because a lot of coaches come up and they say, okay, guys, we're helping people buy and sell houses, but it's more than that. You guys know if you've sold real estate or you've helped somebody buy a home, there's an emotional attachment to it. Not only is there an emotional attachment to it, there's a huge financial attachment to it, right? Number one reason people can't buy a house, they don't have money. They don't have enough money saved up. There's a lot of money that goes into this. So when somebody who's an average working person who makes $60,000, $70,000 a year and has a spouse that maybe makes another 40, 50, and they're a $100,000, $110,000 a year household income kind of home, it's a lot of work to put away 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand with the hopes and dreams of purchasing a property. And then they come to you and they say, I need you to guide me through this entire process. And many of them are skeptical about coming to you to have you guide them through this entire process because they're already nervous as it is. And so now they're coming to a stranger and they're saying, hey, stranger, I know this is what you do for a living. So can you help me navigate the seas in this particular situation? So why do I give you that full explanation? I want you to know how important your job is, right? I want you to know how important what you do in this country is, because it gets so much deeper than just helping that one person. There's a study that says every time a home is sold, 7 jobs were created or completed. Why is that true? There are movers, There's title business. There's a mortgage business. There's you, the real estate agent. There's an inspector that was probably involved. There was a surveyor that went out. There was maybe a painter that was hired to paint the house. There was a gardener that got a new contract for a new home to take care of every couple weeks. Maybe that particular gardener is now going to redo the entire facade of the front of the house. Maybe they're putting down sod. There are multiple jobs that are created every time you move a property. So not only are you helping that person, but you're also moving the money of your community. You're helping multiple people. And that makes our job super important. I say all that to bring it back to the importance of converting someone into a client. Yes, we all want to convert leads into clients because we want to take all these leads that come from wherever you get them from. They could be Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads. They could be Instagram leads, Facebook leads. They could be referrals from a friend. They could be people who landed on your website by accident when they were searching for homes in your area. It could be 100 different things. And we all want those folks, okay? We all want those folks to jump in, and we want them to work with us. And so we have to work on converting them and being really, really good at conversion. All right, so let's dig into this. All right, so why lead conversion matters, okay? I feel like I just explained all that, but 78% of buyers work with the first agent who responds to them. I want you to think about that, right? 78% of agents work with the first person that responds to them. That means that the quicker you are to getting in touch with them, the higher the chances of you working with them is. Not only does it convert faster when you have when you're the first person to get in there, but also the longer you take, the lower your chances become, and they become lower by the minute. I'm not talking about if in the first 30 seconds, blah, 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 you have an 80% chance of converting them. In 2 minutes, that goes down to 50%. In 5 minutes, that goes down to 40%, right? And then it keeps going and going and going. Why am I telling you that? Why is that important? Because the truth is that if you're not first to lead, right, and first to act, you may not get that lead. The only way you might get that lead is if they're ignoring everybody that's calling them. Because why do you lose, or why does it dramatically go down in 2 minutes? Because you're not the only website they're hitting. You're not the only realtor on Instagram. You're not. They're out there searching. They're on a hunt, right? And very much so could be their initial hunt to this thing. And so maybe people start calling them. They don't care for that because they don't want to be bothered yet. They're not ready. Okay. And so that leads me to the next thing. It takes an average of 7 to 12 follow-ups to convert a lead. That means that you have to communicate with them 7 to 12 times before you can act on conversion. Now, will some people convert quicker than that? Of course, but we're talking about the average. Will some people take longer than that to convert? Of course. Right now, we just put an off-market property on the market, okay? Not on the market. We grabbed an off-market property and got the neighbor to pick it up on a purchase, and we're getting paid on the buy and sell. Why do I tell you that little story? Because that culmination, like when we say, oh yeah, we got this property and we went to the neighbor and offered it to the neighbor said sure, and now we got a deal going with the neighbor and he's gonna pick up the property. You would think that sounds really easy, except for the fact that we've been in communication with this particular seller twice a week, every week since September of last year, right? And so this is the constant action gives you better reaction, okay? Now, the next one says, be the agent who follows up, provide value, and build trust. And we're going to dig into what that means more, because you cannot just be the person that calls to say, hey, I'm checking up on you to see if you're ready to list your house yet, right? Like, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm not. Thank you. Right? That's not the script. Right? The script is more along the lines of, hey, how are you? How are your kids doing? What's going on? You know, so has your situation changed? What's happening new with the place that you wanted to move to, or that job transfer you were talking about, or getting closer to your grandkids, or whatever? Bring up the why, bring up the topic, bring up the reason, and then dig into that some more. When you dig into that some more, you get to use that as ammunition every time you follow up with them. And they go, hey, listen, I know it's been a couple weeks since we've spoken. And honestly, it's been about a month since I provided you with a market update. So is it okay if I just run numbers on your house and send it to you by email? Yeah, of course. But Dave, I'm not ready yet. No, I understand that. Completely understand that. I want to send you the numbers so that you can take a look at it, because it might be going up, it might be going down, and that might help you create a decision for yourself. Okay, great, cool, whatever. We send it. Boom. Now they have it. Right? And then a couple weeks later, we call again and we go, hey, did you get that email I sent you? Right? With the numbers? Yeah, I did. What'd you think about the value of your home? Oh, it seems like it's going up a little bit. Yeah, it is, right? It's inching up a little bit. Let me ask you a question. Where would it need to be for you to make a decision to sell your house? Right? Now we're digging in. Now we're getting understanding, right? Now we know why they need to do things. All right. So one of the key questions, and I wrote this key question down, it's basic, it's so basic. It says, how can I become the agent of choice? Right? And sometimes when you ask that question and you leave it wide open, here's where most real estate agents will mess this up. They will say, how can I become the agent of choice? Because I'm really good at what I do, and I've been selling real estate for a long time, and I'm a part of a really cool company, and I've got all these tools, and I've got this MLS thing, and I've got this really cool website, and I got a really cool app, and so, right? You put your foot in your mouth, you gave him an out. The more you talk, the less you listen. Okay? So when we say, how can I become the agent of choice? And you just shut up and you don't say another word, then it gives them the opportunity to answer you. And when they answer you, you get a better understanding of what it means to become their agent. And it might be something so simple that you can provide right away, or it might be something that they're going to need from you over a long period of time, right? This is exciting stuff, by the way, right? Because when you ask this question and you get to document the no, and then you get to use that as you move forward, and and understand what value means to them. All right, let's move on. Okay, so lead to client journey, the stages of the lead, okay? There are multiple stages to a lead. There's a cold lead, a warm lead, a hot lead, and then there's a client, right? Now, the pro tip before we go into them, the pro tip says always segment your leads into your CRM to personalize follow-ups. Let me start on this real quick. If you are not using a CRM, you should be. If you're not using a CRM, you should be. If you're not in your CRM on a daily basis with the exact knowledge of what you need to do that day and who you need to call, then you are doing this by accident. And if you're doing this by accident, and every once in a while you trip and fall on a deal, then you cannot ask for consistency in your business. The only way to create consistency is to create large ranges of communication. And when you create large range of communication with a lot of people, then you have massive consistency in your business. I want to see you guys win, but you need to be in a CRM. Now here, I'm hearing it already. Some of y'all going, Dave, CRMs are expensive. I can't afford a CRM. Cool. Has anybody ever used Excel? Google Sheets? Start there. Listen, it is not the most desirable CRM in the world, but after pen and paper and notebooks, it's the original digital one. You put names, phone number, email addresses. You put the status. If you watch a couple YouTube videos, you can even figure out how to put drop-down lists in each cell so you could create cold, warm, hot client. And then you can learn how to filter them by those cold, warm, hot situations. And then you know who you have to contact. And then you can write notes about each person. in that particular Excel spreadsheet. And so that you know what's happening, you know what their family dynamic is, you know why they're doing what they're doing, and you know it for as long as it takes to get them to the closing table, because everybody's going to come at a different time. If you turn this off today and say, you know what, I'm going to get crazy consistent, I'm going to use all these techniques, and for the next 30 days, I'm going to spend an hour and a half, 90 minutes. I usually say 2 hours, this and that, trying to make it so easy for you. 90 minutes, and I'm just going to call everybody in my phone for as long as it takes to get through everybody. As long as it takes to have a conversation with every single person in my phone. I don't care where they live. I don't care if they rent or buy or sell or whatever it is. I'm going to purposely have a conversation with each and every person in my phone. If you did that, you would actually meet people who are kind of looking right now. You would meet people that have been thinking about it, but they might not be ready for 90 days. You might have people that just started a new job, and now that job's got to be seasoned for a year, so they're not going to be ready for 8 months. What you're doing is you're putting people in your calendar month per month on when they're going to buy, allowing you to have an opportunity to never fall into the dead month zone. Right? Because here's what happens. I go crazy following up and I put all these skills to work and I make some money, and then I get busy making that money, and then I don't stop. I stop doing everything that I was doing before, and then I'm broke again. And then it happens again and again and again. And we can't stop doing this. This right here, we can't stop doing it. This needs to be a daily activity every single day. Every day you got to be looking for clients, because not everyone you meet is going to be ready right now. You could be setting up your summer. You could be setting up your fall. You'd be setting up next Christmas. Right now, you'd be making calls that pay for your Christmas vacation this year. Right? Okay. So what is a cold lead? Just browsing, really doesn't have any urgency. They're just looking at homes. Right? I live in Miami. I get the worst cold leads in the world. Like we call people sometimes and they go, oh, no. I was just looking because I saw Mark Anthony listed his house. Okay, thank you. Right? Warm leads, interested but hesitant, which means that they have interest in purchasing or selling their home, but they're a little hesitant. Your job is to find out why they're hesitant. Your job is to ask the open-ended questions. Your job is to get them to convert to becoming a hot lead. And a hot lead is that they're ready to take action. They're ready to go. Take me out. Show me properties. Or come on over. Let's sit down and talk about listing my house. And then a client is committed to working with you. A client has signed something that says they're committed to working with you. A buyer agency agreement, a listing agreement, a contract. Right? Those are the folks that are ready to go, and those are clients. Okay? So when I coach people and I go, how many clients do you have? They say, oh, I'm working with like 8 people, 9 people right now. I go, you got 9 clients right now? Right? And they go, well, I go, okay, first let me explain what the difference between a client and a hot lead is. A hot lead is they're ready to take action. A client has signed the document saying they're working with you exclusively. And then that number decreases. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm working with like 4 or 3 or whatever. The other ones I'm still converting from hot to client. Right? All right, so here's a 7-touch follow-up system, okay, that you're going to see. By the way, my assistant, Mike, he's working on a workbook that he's going to give to you guys that's going to have all this information in it, okay? And so when he posts this workbook, he's going to post it in the chat in here, and then he's also going to send the workbook in a follow-up text message with the link to this recording as well, okay? So here's your 7-touch follow-up system. First contact within 5 minutes. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. That's what I want to see from you. 30 seconds. Somebody registers on your website. Somebody reaches out to you on a DM. Somebody got referred to you from Tia Consuelo. Somebody, whatever it is, when that person gets in front of you, everything stops. Unless you're on a listing appointment or something like that, everything stops and you pick up that phone and you go, hey, my name's David Kurz, blah, 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 blah. I work with blah, blah, blah company. And I noticed that you are looking at 123 Main Street on my website. When would you like to go see that home? Right away. I want to be the first person that reaches out to them because we already know that 73% of people work with the first person that reaches out to them. We know that already. That's the stat. So how do I become the first person more consistently? I think 5 minutes is too long, but that's the average that they like to put out there when it comes to coaching. I like to say you got 30 seconds because after a minute, you're reducing like your response or your conversion ability is reducing dramatically. Okay. The call, quick introduction with value, right? What was my value in that call that I gave right now? Introduce myself. My value was, I'm ready to go show you 123 Main Street. When are you ready? I'm ready to go. Right? If it was a seller, hey, I saw you registered on my website as a seller looking to sell 123 Main Street. Can I offer you a valuation on the home? And then we could sit down and really talk about if listing your home is the right move. Like I'm offering this up front. I'm giving it to them up front. None of this, hey, how are you? How you doing? Glad to hear that. Blah, blah, blah. Like most people, first of all, they don't have time for that small talk. Second of all, most of us really don't care how they're doing at that very moment because we don't know them. And third of all, more importantly, they don't want to tell you how they're really doing because they don't know you either. So just get to the point. They registered on the website for a reason. Get to the point, right? Okay, moving on. Then you send them a text. Hey, name, this is your name. Would love to help, right? That's a simple text. If they didn't pick up the phone, okay, you just leave a voicemail, hang up, send a text. Now, you're going to hear this from me all the time. Then I pick up my phone and I go, hey, my name's David from blah, blah, blah company. And I noticed that you registered on my website just now looking at 123 Main Street. I'm ready to go show you the property whenever you're ready. Happy to help. Please let me know how I can be helpful to you. And I send that to them, right? Guys, video is the key. I cannot even explain to you the conversion rate on video messaging. It's huge. Huge. How many of you have done that before? How many of you have sent the client a video? Type the number 1 in the chat box if you've sent the client a video. Let's see how many of y'all. Cool. All right. Vaughn, Erica, great job. Now, those of you that have sent the video, Myra, great job. Those of you that have sent a video to a client or lead, type the number 1 if you had a solid response to that video. Eddie, awesome. Francisco, awesome. Eddie got an answer back. Myra got an answer back. That's 2 out of 4 so far. Let's see if we got another one. Vaughn, multiple ones. Francisco, another one. So we have so far, based on the people that said they've done it, we've got 100% of them saying that they got a solid response based on the video. Why? If you attend my coaching long enough and you attend these trainings long enough, you will hear me talk about the process of developing a relationship. And the process of developing a relationship requires 3 things. They need to hear your voice, they need to see your face, and they need to shake your hand. It's sight, sound, touch. You'll hear that. You'll hear me say that a lot, right? And so I say it's 33, 33, 33, which equates to, your 100%. It leaves a little gap. Now I'll explain what that little gap is, right? Because you got 33, 66, and then you're at 99%, right? You got that last little gap, and I'll explain to you what that is. So if I send somebody a text message, am I accomplishing sight or sound? I'm not. Definitely not touch, right? If I leave a voicemail, am I accomplishing sight or sound? Yes, I'm accomplishing sound. If they listen to my voicemail, I'm 33% in. But when I send a video, I'm accomplishing sight and sound. The only thing left to do is meet this person in person, shake that hand, and create the final frontier, which is touch. The last 1% is whether or not I can get them to like me enough to work with me. trust me enough to work with me, know me enough to work with me. Because now I've accomplished sight, sound, and touch. The only piece left is on you, whether or not you can get this person to commit to you. Okay. Now, the next 6 touches are emails, follow-up calls with scripts. I have scripts in the workbook that we're going to be sharing with you. Text message with value. What type of value can you provide? I can go show you these homes on Wednesday at 2 p.m. or Thursday at 5 p.m. I can send you information on a market update in your neighborhood. Like whatever you need, I want to provide some value. Social media engagement. Now, if you're really good, you're going to find these people on social media. Okay, those leads come in, you have a conversation with them, blah, blah, blah. You can send them to your website, you can do all this stuff, and then you can search for them on social media and follow them. Why is that important? It gives them an insight to you and your life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the absolute, like if you treat your Instagram or your Facebook well, it is the absolute best resume in the world. Where LinkedIn says, I've worked here and I've worked here and I've worked here. That other one says, this is who I am and this is what I do. And so if they see you and they go, oh, this is that realtor that I just spoke to on the phone, they sent me a friend request. Let me see their page first before I check, accept their friend request. And they go on your page and they like what they see. You got kids or you don't have kids, or you're into biking, or you're into the gym, or you like going out on the boat in the lake, or whatever the case is. You like going on long walks, you like hanging out, you like food, whatever the case is. They start getting into your life. They start getting to understand and know you better, right? Okay. Success story emails. I love success story emails. I love success stories all the time, right? So when somebody gives me their 80%, and what I mean by that is when somebody gives me their reason for wanting to do this next step, buy or sell, I like telling a story of a past client that was in a similar situation. And I give them the success story of that client, right? So if I meet somebody that says, I'm selling my house because I'm leaving the area and I want to be closer to my grandkids that happen to live in Alabama, right? And I go, hey, that's fantastic. I've worked with several clients that are been in your position, believe it or not. And you can imagine, like, kids don't want to stay home anymore. So kids take off and they move to another state and they're going somewhere else and they're having kids, and the grandparents are starting to feel like they can't communicate with their grandkids. They can't be grandparents. And so many times I'm working with people selling their house because they want to get closer to their grandkids. So I can appreciate what you're doing. I would want to be close to my grandkids. I totally get it. I had this client named John, and John and his wife Mary decided to move to Atlanta because their kid was a doctor in Atlanta, and their son, had 2 boys, and they wanted to be closer to the grandkids. And actually, the son reached out to him and said, Mom, Dad, my schedule's crazy. Like, I would love if you guys were closer so you could help with the boys. And so they picked up and they moved, and I talk to them at least once a month, and they are happier than ever. They get to spend so much time with their grandsons. Like, I'm telling this success story, and I'm doing a couple of things. 1, letting them know I understand their situation. 2, I am implanting in their heads what their life could be like when they successfully work with me and I sell their home. All right, moving on. Monthly follow-up with insights. And then 80% of your, so pro tip, 80% of your conversion can and will happen around your 5th. Okay, your 5th touch. So don't give up, don't stop. Now, I'm a lot more aggressive. And what do I mean by I'm a lot more aggressive? The second I get a lead, I call them up, and either they pick up the phone and we have a conversation, or I leave a voicemail. Always leave a voicemail, okay? Then I hang up the phone and I send them a text message followed by a video text followed by an email. And I do this for as long as it takes. I'm telling you, there have been times where I've sent like 15 video messages before somebody responds. And by the way, for me, it's like 80% of them like to respond back with a video, which is even cooler, right? It's almost like we're having a Zoom meeting, but it's in spaces. You know what I mean? All right. Next, scripts for success. Okay, so script for an initial cold lead follow up. This is a buyer situation. Hey, John, I just saw you were looking at homes in, I don't know, San Antonio. Are you just browsing? Are you looking to buy in the near future? Tell me a little bit about what your goals and plans are. Great spot. That's a great position to start if you don't know which house they were requesting. If they were on the website and all you can see is just a range of properties, or they registered for something else and you can't really tell which house it is. Because if you know the address, then it sounds like this. Hey, John, I saw you were looking at homes in San Antonio and you fell on 123 Main Street. I can take you to go see that house today or tomorrow. Which day works better for you? All right. Next one, script, seller lead follow-up. Hi, John. I saw you requested a home valuation. Have you been considering your home to sell your home for a while, or are you currently listed on the market? I like to ask that question. Why do I want to know if they're currently listed on the market? Duh, if they have another realtor, I got to back off, right? But if they don't have another real estate agent and they're not listed on the market, what do I want to offer them? A home valuation. And then when I send them that home valuation, right? Because most of the time they don't want you up in their house right away. You got to give some value first. You got to give something to get something. You want an invitation for coffee? Give them something of value. And so when you give them this home valuation, I like to give them a very basic home valuation that will give them a decent pricing objective. And in my email to them and by text, and by phone call and by video, I say, I've just sent you the home valuation. I want you to know two things about this. First one is it could be pretty accurate. So you could pretty much bank on that number. But the second thing you have to know is I have no idea what your house looks like. Right. So if you have like marble floors and granite countertops and sub-zero appliances in the kitchen and Viking refrigerator and super high ceilings like unlike some of the other homes in the neighborhood, and you have an Olympic sized pool and you have the entire backyard is done and you're sitting in the back forest, like whatever the case is, right? Hardwood floors, all of these things matter. And so in order for me to be like massively accurate with the number that I can come up with, I like to come by the home and take a look at the home. And plus, we get to meet each other and know each other, and you get to learn a little bit more about me. Does that make sense? And they go, yeah, sure. I can understand that. Right? Because you already given value and then you explained how that value works. All right. All right. Next thing, overcoming the I'm not ready objective, right? I'm not ready right now. So Lee says, I'm not ready yet. You say, that's totally fine. What's the main thing holding you back right now? Because when somebody says, I'm not ready, sometimes they are, they just don't know they are. And so you have to understand, they just can't be like, listen, I'm not ready. I'll buy in 2 months. You go, okay, bye, see you later. Right? But if you say, what's the main thing holding you back right now? And they say, I'm working on my credit right now. And I always bring up the credit because it's oftentimes next to, I don't have enough saved up. It's the number one thing people say in the average home buying market. Okay. I'm working on my credit right now. I'm paying down some credit cards and things like that so I can get a better credit score. And I go, what's your credit score right now? They go, it's only a 650. And then I go, well, what's wrong with your credit score then? And they go, well, I thought you needed to be at least 700 to buy a house. No, sir. No, you don't. You can totally buy at 650 right now. Can I put you in touch with my lender so you guys can have a conversation? And you're going to see that you're ready to go right now, and we could be house hunting already. And they're going to go, yeah, because you just gave them new information. You provided value. You provided value twice, by the way, and I don't think you guys realize this. Once, by telling them that they can actually buy a house with that credit score, and second, by giving them a person of trust that they could speak to, that lender. Then you put them together on a text message. And if you have a preferred lender, you train your lender. You go, yo, Coach Dave over there, New World Title, said that when I tie you together with somebody, you got 30 seconds to pick up the phone. Okay? All right. Common objectives and responses. I'm waiting for the market to get better. Okay, so you get to share some market insight with them. Not sure where to move. Okay, you offer some neighborhood options, right? You're not sure where to move. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. What are you looking for in a neighborhood? What are you looking for in a neighborhood, right? Need more time. Okay, set up a value-based check-in, right? So why do you need more time? I need to save more money. That's fantastic. Can I ask you, how much are you trying to save? X amount of dollars. How did you come up with that number? Well, I just thought that'd be the best number to come together. Okay, let's dig in and do some research now. Again, we get to involve the lender, we get a real number of what they need to save, and maybe they don't have enough money. And you go, cool, how much are you able to save a month? Oh, I'm saving at least 2 or 3 grand a month. That's fantastic. Congratulations. I love that you could do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call you once a month, and I'm gonna hold you accountable to holding that 2 or 3 grand. Is that okay with you? Because I want to see you buy a house. I can hear the excitement and the motivation in your voice. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. That's what I'm gonna do. And you do that. But you need a CRM for this, guys, okay? Like, there has to be a reminder that reminds you to call this person so that you could say, all right, this is your monthly check-in. How much you saved this month? And you'd be so excited to tell you, oh man, I was able to put a little more. I put 3,500 away. Gee, that's amazing. How are you able to up it to 3,500 from 2 to 3? And they're going to tell you. And they go, man, if you do that every month, you'll be on point in 3 or 4 months. Yeah. Right? Like, you motivate them. You get them excited, All right. Let's move on. By the way, you'll notice that I put pro tip, handle objections with curiosity, not pressure, right? You'll notice that I said a lot of whys. And whys? Why do you want to do that? And how did you come up with that number, right? This is curiosity. This is not pressure. Like, you're not jumping on them and going, dude, like, how much money you got? Like, seriously. And do you even know how much you need? Like, no, man, relax. We're coming to this with curiosity. Okay. Winning strategies for lead conversion. All right. Speed wins. We talked about this quite a bit. Contact new leads in 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds to have the best absolute results. You got 5 minutes before you lose them forever. Okay. All right. Follow up is key. Use the 7-touch system. All right. If you want to go deeper, you can use my system, which is the rotation. It's call, voicemail, or conversation, video, text, email, every single time. If it's 10 in the morning and that lead came in, I'm doing that 3 times today. I'm doing it when it happens. I'm doing it again in the afternoon, and I'm doing it again in the evening. And if I don't get in touch with them in any of those points, I'm gonna do it 3 times tomorrow and 3 times the next day. And then I'll cut it down. Right? Okay, use video. Video messaging increases response rates by 80%. Leverage social proof. Testimonials and success stories build trust. When you have testimonials from people, or you have success stories that you can tell, okay, it gives you a trust factor. It makes people feel like you understand why they're in the situation they're in and why they need your help. Okay. CRM and automation, organize and track leads effectively. Look, I told you, if you can't afford a CRM, go with an Excel spreadsheet, but it's extremely difficult to have real good automation on an Excel sheet or a Google sheet. Okay. Automation is the key, because the more people that come in, the more you can automate consistency through email and text. There are some really inexpensive CRMs out there. You just got to look at them for yourself. All right. There's HubSpot, which is a very inexpensive CRM. If you want to go real estate, I think the best price one right now is Follow Up Boss. All right, which is an amazing CRM, amazing. Okay, you got everything you need. And then of course there's some more expensive ones like Lofty, and there's Boomtown and other sites like that. And those are the more expensive ones, right? You don't need that until you need that, right? If you're lucky enough to be at a brokerage that gives it to you, awesome. Use it, because I'll tell you right now, I used to own a brokerage and we had a couple hundred agents and like 20 of them were really consistently using the CRM. All right. The other 180 were wondering why they weren't selling as much real estate. Okay. Challenge. So here's my challenge. Apply these tactics to at least 5 leads this week. By the way, if you've got some old leads that are in the system and you didn't do this with them, just pick it up. Just do it with them. You don't have to look at an old lead that came in a month ago and go, maybe Dave said after 5 minutes I've lost them, so I screwed the pooch there. Right? No, try it. Right? Try it. You never know. Right? Never know. Okay. Action plan, convert more leads this week. So pick 5 new leads and follow up with them using these scripts and using these tactics. Send video messages to warm leads who haven't responded in a little while, right? Post a client success story on social media. So you got a client success story, post it on social media. If you haven't sold a house in 2 months, post a success story from 2 months ago. They don't need to know. You're just posting a story, okay? Improve your CRM organization, segment your leads, cold, warm, hot, client. Super easy, okay? Challenge yourself. Book at least 3 appointments this week. 3 appointments. Those are listing or buyer consultations. Book at least 3 appointments this week. Guys, it's Tuesday. Yeah, all the time in the world. By the way, if you don't have a bunch of deals going on right now, you literally have all the time in the world. Like all day to find 3 appointments. Do me a favor, inside the chat box, type a number 1 if 3 appointments and 3 potential buyers or sellers could change your situation right now. Type a 1 in there. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for your honesty, guys. Awesome. By the way, I don't care how much money you make. 3 extra deals ain't never going to hurt anybody. I don't care if you're making $500,000 a year because you're the baddest real estate agent out there. 3 extra deals is 3 extra deals. Right? All right, final thought. Leads don't convert on their own. Leads don't convert on their own. Be consistent, persistent, and valuable, and you'll turn more leads into lifelong clients. Okay? You'll turn more leads into lifelong clients. Guys, this right here, by the way, it's not rocket science, but it does need to be practiced. You do need to learn it. You do need to practice it. So I'm going to add another challenge that wasn't on this that I should have put on this. I'm going to challenge you guys to do something very cool. I'm going to challenge you to reach out to somebody in your brokerage, anybody, another agent, saying, hey, can we meet and role play together? And I want you to role play some of these scripts that Michael's going to send you guys by text. I want you to role play some of the situations, some of the conversations. I want you to role play with somebody, and I want that somebody to give you the feedback on how you made them feel in the situation. Not if you're a badass closer, but how you made them feel in the situation, because that's what we're looking to do. We're looking for people to feel great about the situation that we're bringing to them. And so ask the person for an honest opinion. Number one trick to role playing is whoever's trying to get the win, you always give them the win. Always. You can be a little combative because you want to be able to give objections that they can learn how to work around the objections. But every time you role play, the person trying to win needs to win. Okay? Don't ever play role play where somebody loses. You have to win in every role play situation so that you're already walking into the real appointment a winner. Okay? By the way, if you are going to a listing appointment this week at some point, take some time, find somebody and go, hey, listen, I have a listing appointment this week. I don't want to wing it. Even though I know what I'm doing, I don't want to wing it. So is it okay if we meet up and I'd like to give you my listing script? Like I'd like to just try it out with you. And if they say no, you find somebody else, right? But the person that says yes is probably just as serious about their business as you are. And they probably want to learn from you too. So you go and you give them your listing presentation. And they might give you some tips like, hey, I like when you said this, but I like to add, XYZ. Up to you though, right? Like you get to feed off each other now. We don't have to do this alone, guys. Rising tides lift all ships. All right. Now I'll finish this by saying thank you for attending today. I appreciate you guys. The next thing I'll say is if you are working with New World Title already, give me a 1 in the chat. If you're already working with us, give me a 1 in the chat. If you're already working with New World Title. Jessica, thank you for your business. Appreciate you. Erica, you too. Okay. If you're not working with New World Title, I'm going to put in the chat my email address. It's david@newworldtitle.com. Okay. I'm putting my information in there. I'd like you to take a screenshot of that. And I'd like for you to please email me. And what I would like to do is prove to you the value that New World Title brings to the table so that we can work together and you get a better understanding of who we are as a company and what we bring to the table and how we can help you in your business. That's the win right there. Yuri says on the next deal, I want to work with New World. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you're hearing great things. Yuri, send me an email. Like I'm going to challenge you guys. Like this is an opportunity. Send me an email. Let's work together. Come to my next session. We do this again on the second Tuesday of every month. If you want to register for this particularly, if you got this message and you've never registered for this, but you have been to the New You Real Estate Conference, I'm going to send you, it's nwttraining.com. That's the website. Take a screenshot of that as well. And just register there so that way you get reminders of when we're doing this training particularly. And that's it, guys. Really appreciate you guys showing up. If you got something out of today, give me a yes in the chat box. If you got something out of today, if you feel good about today's training, if it affected you or helped you in any way. Awesome, Eddie. Thank you. Ganu, thank you. Appreciate it. Good. I'm glad. Jasmine, Erica, Jessica, Vaughn. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Awesome. Tasha, Monica, Vanessa. Thank you, guys. All right. Kathleen, awesome. Listen, I'm here at your disposal, guys. I do this coaching often. I'm in town next week. If you'd like to meet with me, send me an email. I'm going to be in town from Tuesday to Thursday, and I'm happy to sit down and meet with anybody who'd like to have a cup of coffee and talk some business. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hey, Monica asked, will you send text link for slides? Yeah, why not, Monica? We're going to send you the workbook, which has all the information on the slides, but I think we could send you the slides as well, okay? Connie, you're welcome. Eddie, thanks. Looking forward to that. All right, talk soon, guys. Y'all take care.